Of making a little glass, actually plastic ornament in a new way. I'm going to paint fingernail polish on it by dropping the fingernail polish in water. So I recommend a good brand of nail polish like OPI, plastic ornaments from the Dollar Tree or Walmart or Michael's, and then a bowl of water bigger than your ornament. You need to have either not tap water, not distilled water, but some kind of filtered water. And you drop some of the nail polish in, as you can see. And you're supposed to be able to put one drop in at a time, but mine is too thick or something, it didn't do that. And then I drop in another color on top of that. And you'll see how it spreads. Some spread better than others. Putting my hand over it because I had a fan on and it was drying so fast it didn't stick very well to the ornament if it was too dry. Isn't that cool? Look at that. And amazingly, it really sticks. Now the bubbles on it you see are little drops of water, and those just evaporate when you set it aside. Oops. Oops. And there's a little film of the dried polish on the water, and so sometimes I take a little toothpick or something and squish it around in there, and all the dried film gathers on the toothpick, and then you have a clean bowl of water to start with. Didn't do that this time, obviously. See where the film is kind of starting to dry on the bottom, the closest to us section of the bowl. And it goes. You can try doing it in different directions for different effects on your bulb. I think that is so cool. Now this was a bright red nail polish and a bright white nail polish. The green I had was not OPI, and it wasn't nearly as strong or intense in value. Okay, the second step of the process is to use regular acrylic felt. I just like to use the colors. I like the colors that come in those little squares at the craft store. So I'm choosing the turquoise color, of course, and I'm cutting out a pattern for a little starfish. And then I trace the starfish on the felt. And if you need to use a marker or something, don't worry about it, because when you, in the next step, when we're using a heat gun on it, I should correct that. In the next step, we're sewing over it, and then we'll be using a heat gun, and the marker lines just tend to disappear. And I'm doing 2 of each design that I make this way because I want one for the front and one for the back of each ornament. I hate to see an ornament with a nice front and then nothing on the back. So that's my basic shape for stitching. And then for this one, I'm just using a pebble stitch. You can see that I've already stitched some lines down the middle of each leg of the starfish and the circle for the center of it. And I'm just doing pebbles all around. You want to have your threads connecting to one another, so when it gets heated by the heat gun, the whole thing just doesn't fall apart. The threads hold it together. And I'm using cotton thread in the top and the bobbin because that holds up to the heat of the heat gun real well. And here I am in my beauty shot for the day. Have to wear a half face respirator because the fumes when you're melting this felt are bad, plastic, stinky, yucky. And I'm using a embossing heat gun, and I put the felt in a hoop to keep it from curling while I heat it. And as you can see, the felt just dissolves where the heat is hitting it, and it makes a really nice effect around the edge of the starfish. And if wherever you have not stitched inside the starfish can also just melt away. I think this is the most fun part. You pop this little baby out of the hoop, and then if you've heated enough around the edges of your shapes, you can just pull them apart, and look at those cool edges you get. You get all this neat detail hanging off the edge, and if it doesn't pull off easily, just snip it with your scissors. I think it's awesome. By the way, the back side is the rougher side, the side you've heated, and I usually put that face down on whatever I'm making. So the front side is smoother and nicer to the touch. After I get the shapes trimmed the way I want them, I can apply them to the bulb that I've already colored with the nail polish. And to do this, I'm using Weld Bond. It's a great glue for gluing plastics. And so I'm just going to dab some on the back. I'll show you in just a minute here. And I found that it helps a lot after I glue it on to hold the piece in place while it dries with rubber bands. They wrap really easily around the ornament and keep a snug hold on the decoration. And there you have the ornaments. I wrapped some burlap around the top where the silvery hanger didn't look so good and glued it on with a hot glue gun. And then I used a little kind of a rope ribbon for the hanging loop. There you can see it. So they're lots of fun, a little putsy, but a good way to use your skills with free motion stitching and try something a little different with nail polish. Hope you enjoy them. Bye.